Good morning. It is Tuesday, and we're going to talk spices today because I got like a gazillion amount of spices yesterday in the mail from the Spice Bazaar. So I thought we would kind of go through them. So then you could kind of learn about what I got. Haven't bagged them all, but that's next week's agenda. I have a ridiculous amount of red pepper spice because, oops, I'm dropping things everywhere. My whole couch is kind of filled with spices right now. So we're going to start off with, they're called special chili flakes. And what they are is they are a silk cut. So they're very, very finely chopped chili flakes. And it has a little bit of oil and a little bit of salt mixed in to kind of keep the leaves from sticking together. But this is going to be about a medium heat. So we've got that pepper. And then let's see, what else we got? And then this is more like a powdered pepper. So this one is what you would mix in with some of your butter, and it just kind of dissolves and turns your butter into like a hot, like yummy, drizzly kind of hot peppery butter. So I guess this is probably the consistency of like a cayenne, I guess you would say. But this is smoked mild paprika. So I guess that's probably our equivalent to a cayenne, but it dissolves in the butter. So when you see a lot of those dishes that have like the olive oil and then they drizzle this little red yummy butter on top, that's using that pepper. Okay, what next? This is the silk cut chili peppers. So these are a little bit darker. And these are going to release a little bit of their oils in the olive oil. So this is going to kind of infuse a little bit more of the heat into the olive oil. They're a medium flake. Those were a fine flake. And these still have a little bit of salt and a little bit of sunflower oil to kind of create a little differentiation between the little flakes. So we've got about 1 kilo of this. What other pepper do we got? Oh, for those spicy hot people, the guy in the spice market said I needed to get extra hot red pepper. So this is slightly scary for me because I don't use extra hot, but I know some of you do. So this is extra hot. So we've got a couple of different kinds, and you can see the different colors. This one's a little bit darker than this one. Maybe roasting it a little bit longer makes it a little extra hot. This one has a little bit of olive oil in it rather than sunflower to kind of keep it differentiated and see the difference between the colors in these two. So darker the color, extra heat. All right, what else do we have? We have, okay, this one, it's a combination of different hot peppers. This is for çiğ köfte. Now, I don't know if you guys have gone over to Turkey and had çiğ köfte, but çiğ köfte, it's like ground meat patties that has all of this hot pepper spice in it. And as you work the meat and squish it all together, it actually cooks the meat to a palatable like place where you can eat the raw meat, but it's actually cooked in the spices. So I figured I would get a package of this so that everybody could figure out how to make it, because it needs that right amount of each different hot red pepper in order to kind of create that heat. So this one has isot, which is here somewhere, which is a roasted paprika. Somewhere it's here. And then we have the medium cut red pepper, and they have some cumin, and it has some allspice, it has dried garlic, and it has sea salt. So that's all in the çiğ köfte spice, or the raw meatball spice. What else do we got? We have Ottoman spice. Now, understand, because Turks like their spice, there's probably hot red pepper in just about all of these different mixed blends, other than the Anadolu one, which is more of a fish and chicken spice. So this one has in the specialty cut red pepper. It has sumac, which we'll look at in a second. and that's almost like a sour spice, and it's very purple. There's another kind of red pepper, but it's more of sweet red pepper. There's some salt, there's some garlic, there's some Turkish oregano, and there's that roasted paprika, that isot in the Ottoman spice. Let's see, what else do we got? We got regular cumin. That is what cumin should look like. Okay, a lot of the colors when you get cumin, sometimes it looks a little darker. This is what actual like fresh cumin looks like. I think we all know what cumin is. What do we got here? We've got Janissary spice. So Janissary spice is, again, it's a blend. So it has mixed dried pepper. It has sumac, which is that purple sour one. It has a little bit of olive oil to keep everything separate. Has some garlic, it has some oregano, it has mint, it has some sea salt, and it has basil. So this kind of feels like more of an all-purpose spice. What else do we got? Oh, is this another red pepper? Oh, we got Cajun. The guy in Spice Market said I needed to get Cajun spice. I figured that's accessible for people. That's not too crazy different. This is just some sweet pepper. There's some garlic, some oregano, some black pepper, and some salt. So we've got some sweet red pepper, so not spicy Cajun. So we're going to have to see how this Turkish Cajun blend measures up to some of the other traditional Cajun blends that we have around in the US. Oh, I'm missing some of my spices. Let's see. Magi. So we have Gift of the Magi spice. So then, as you can tell, there's probably some hot red pepper in here. This one has a little bit of sugar and a little bit of dried tomatoes, because as we all know from cooking, sugar and tomatoes, they kind of go hand in hand when you're cooking Turkish food. We've got some red pepper, some garlic, some sea salt, another kind of a hot pepper, some cumin, another kind of hot red pepper, a little bit of corn flour to kind of keep it a little bit separate. They have some ginger. They have some lemon salt, some black pepper, some allspice, some cinnamon, and some clove. So this is all sorts of craziness all rolled into one. So I am very curious how we're all going to use the Magi spice, but it just feels very magical to me, so I had to get it. What else do I have? This is a big bag of Turkish oregano. So Turkish and Greek oregano is different than some of the Italian oregano. So this is kind of a cross between oregano and thyme. So it smells different, it tastes different. So I prefer this. I use this kekik on just about everything. I sprinkle it on cheese. I put it in my olive oil for dipping. I put it in my marinades. I put it on tomatoes and cucumbers with a little drizzle of olive oil. This is used in pretty much everything that you cook in Turkey. What else? I have meatball spice, so the kofta spice. So if you wanted to make Turkish kofta, I figured this would make it easier, so you could just put a spoonful of this rather than having to make your own. Again, this has some cumin in it, has two different kinds of red pepper. It has allspice, it has black pepper, it's got some cinnamon, and it's got a couple other new spices that I'm not exactly what the translations are. So surprise spices in here. So these, you would probably put 1 or 2 teaspoons of this in with your red meat if you were going to make some kofta. And then I brought in some za'atar. So I know that we're used to a lot of the za'atar that we see. You know, za'atar is kind of like a sesame seed and a mixed blend of other spices. And depending on the region that you're in, you either have like a red za'atar or a green za'atar. And traditionally, like in the markets here, we usually see the green za'atar in the markets, which has more green herbs in it. This one is a Turkish breakfast za'atar. So you would mix this with olive oil and do the dipping, or you would sprinkle this on your vegetables. This one has sumac in it. So sumac and sesame seeds and kekik and some thyme, some za'atar thyme. So za'atar itself is kind of like a thyme. So this is very exciting because you don't really see the red za'atar around. You only see the green za'atar. And then I do have my isot somewhere, but it is off screen. So I have a roast. Hold on, I'll get it. I got more spices. I just forgot to bring them. They were hiding under the piano. This is the sumac. See, it's a little bit purple. So this goes really well with yogurt and when you make your manta, and you're going to sprinkle a little bit of sour to offset your spicy. So this, it smells a little sour and it tastes a little sour, but it's not too sour like, you know, what you're thinking of sour. I think this is one of those spices that you just have to try it to kind of know, because you can't really explain it other than saying it's slightly sour, but it balances the heat in a lot of the dishes. So you usually see these with yogurt dips or with beans, where you sprinkle some of the sumac on top of that. And you need to make sure that when you're buying sumac that you buy from a reputable company, because mom did not one time, and they had dyed the sumac an extra like color. They added some sort of pink or red dye to it, that when she put it on her beans, when the spice decided to dissolve, it turned all her beans pink. So it was a fake sumac. So you need to be careful when you buy sumac that you're getting it from a reputable company, and then they're not dyeing it to make it extra purple. All right. And then I got this one. I thought this was really interesting because you can use it with chicken. You can use it with some fish. This is our Anadolu spice from Anatolia. And it has garlic, dried onion, a little bit of corn flour, some sea salt, and some mint. So this would lend itself nicely to white meats, to pork, to some fish in a marinade or just on top. This just felt really interesting to me to get. Here's our isot. So this is one of my favorite things in the whole world. It's called isot, and it comes from southeastern Turkey, from the area of Gaziantep and Urfa. And what I've read is they take the peppers and they put them on their roofs, and they roast them on their roofs. And it's a dark purple pepper, and it has a bit of a different heat than all of the other peppers. So it has a slow burn. So you know when you have like the hot red peppers and you taste it and you're like, oh my goodness, that is super hot, and it's because it hits you right on your tongue. This one's a slow heat, so it hits you in the back of your mouth. So like when you swallow it and you eat it, then you feel it come up. So when you mix some isot with some red pepper in a dish, you'll get multiple points of contact with the heat, which is kind of fun and unexpected. The other thing I like to do with this is I like to do an infused olive oil with isot, because one, it adds that little bit of heat, but it also turns it this really nice purpley color because it releases the color from the isot. And so if you're going to have people over for brunch and you're going to be dipping your breads in different kinds of infused olive oils, what I would do is the night before, get your little bowl out, sprinkle your isot on top, and then you'll see it slowly kind of bleed this purpley color into it. And it's just really pretty. And then you can dip your bread in it. I use this pretty much in everything. So, and you can't really buy this like in any of the markets. You can find it some Turkish online markets, but you can't just go to a supermarket and buy this. This one is pretty tricky. And the last thing that I got is malep. Now malep is, tell me what I'm going to be doing with these spices and herbs. So right now I am going to be packaging these, so you can buy them. These are all going to be packaged in 6-gram bags in the next week or so, and you'll be able to purchase these online. And I'll put together little sample kits too. So if you wanted samples of things, I have little sample things. You can have samples of all these, and we'll put together a little sample. But this is going to be part of my little micro spice bazaar when I open up my space. So we're going to create, right now I have the packages where you can buy them in 6-gram bags. But then once I get the space up and running, I'm going to create like a little spice market. So you can come in and you can get more than obviously 6 grams, and you can buy your spices in bulk. Obviously, we can't have it all open basket like over in Turkey in the Spice Bazaar, but we'll figure out a way where it'll be engaging and you'll be able to participate in, a Spice Bazaar experience, but with an American food establishment requirements and code system. So the spice selection will grow as we get into this space and as we figure out what we like. So that's kind of what we're doing. And we'll probably have different tastings once we get going, where we can try the different spices and the different peppers, especially the hot red peppers, because they all have different varieties of heat and what will work best in what dishes. So we're going to just play with those. Let's see, the last one was malep. Malep is dried cherry pits. And I know that sounds really strange, but over in Turkey and in that Mediterranean region, they dry. I will for sure sign you up, Jim. We can get you a whole set of samples and you can tell me what you think. Malep is ground up and it's used in baking. So these are a big package kilo of dried cherry pits. And these, I think, were the most expensive things that I bought. So I'm taking a chance on them. But they're really hard to come by, like quality ones. You can get it ground, but you don't know how long they've been ground for. So I'm thinking that I will keep these in bulk where you can grind them themselves, and then also have some that are already ground. And they add almost like a malty flavor to your cookies. So there is a region, where my family has their summer house in Ivalik, where they're known for these specific cookies, and they have malep in them. So it adds a malty flavor, and the malep is add to their simits or their like Turkish bagels. So it's added to the dough as like this underlying flavor layer. So I figured we could experiment with all of that stuff. You guys have any questions on spices, or want to see any more, or have any requests for next time? Because there were so many that I figured I would just start with stuff that was more different before going into things that are more traditional that everybody can get. But obviously, as we go forward, we'll have traditional cinnamon, salt, pepper, and all that other stuff. But I figured I'd start off with the crazy new stuff first. Anyway, I'm hoping to get this stuff packaged. I went and got like a million gazillion buckets to put them in so that they're not everywhere. And yeah, I will let you guys know when they are all up and available for purchase. Some of them are new, so I need to get labels for them. Like there's some extras that they added in just because they thought I needed them, which I thought was nice. So those don't have labels yet, but I will certainly keep you guys posted. Thanks for playing today, and y'all have a great week. Goodbye.